Content creation, and we were talking about the kind of content that goes up right now. When you decided to create content and make it your own career, uh, was it a steady and slow step towards it, or is how the engine evolved, you also evolved with it? I'll throw it for both of you. Anyone can take it.
Hi guys, lovely to be here. So I have been in the business of advertising and marketing for the last 14 years now. During pandemic, everyone was doing flipping switch, so I decided to flip the switch. I was working at Purple back then, handling social media and influencer marketing. And I thought, why not go independent? So that's when I started my edtech platform Sorted, where we teach founders and marketers everything to do with marketing and branding, performance, all of it. And I also started consultation. So when you're teaching and when you're preaching and when you're solving, if you don't create content, it's not on brand. And so I was literally forced to create content. But the bad thing was that because I was forced to create it, I was doing it just like a tick box to show people, oh, I'm also creating. And my content just wouldn't fly. And so now, cut to 6-7 months, I'm in a place where my content is not flying. I'm supposed to be this marketer, and people, if my content is not flying, why will people come and attend my master classes? So that's when I went back to the drawing board. I remember taking a break, went to Goa, and I literally figured out, wait, I know decent stuff about marketing. Why is my content not working? And I realized that, I'm just giving gyan. Rather, what would be so much impactful is that if people are able to literally take my reel into an actionable output and maybe make a presentation out of it and maybe create a campaign out of it. So that's when I made a switch from giving gyan to really bite-sized, no-faff, actionable marketing content. And that's exactly where I formulated how the Sorted Girl, and Sorted stands for no faff marketing. And I came back, I created my first reel, and it just flew off. So to answer your question, it wasn't a very easy transition into content creation. But the learning from that is that whenever you create content, if you don't create it with the right intention, it's never going to fly. So that's what kind of worked for me.
साक्षी, आप जेन जी के लिए इन्वेस्टमेंट रिलेटेड फिनेंस रिलेटेड कंटेंट बनाते हो, राइट? देयर इज अ डाइकोटमी बिकॉज जेन जी लव्स टू स्पेंड एंड यू आर आस्किंग देम टू इन्वेस्ट. हाउ डज दैट कंटेंट वर्क?
So first of all, it's a pleasure being a part of this panel, sitting with all of you here. So I think I have seen that problem that Gen Zs actually live on FOMO and YOLO. They want to actually spend on things and just live your life once, and the fear of missing out. So they want to purchase things, they want to spend a lot on there because they believe the experiences matter more than the savings and everything. So I think by my content, I try to find a midpoint between both of them. Like you can also enjoy your life, you can also spend on things, but at the same time keeping in mind that you need that emergency fund, you need to invest for the future. So I think creating content in such a way that it create a balance, it tells people there can be a balance between both the things. That helps me to actually educate Gen Zs on to create content on Gen Z's perspective.
When you work with content creators, there are two things. There's always a guideline from brands, and we discussed that at times when the brand micromanages, it is mostly reading a script, and content creators preferably do not want that, right? But how do you try to make it more of a collaborative approach than dictating the terms?
See, one part of it is brands are now starting to understand that doctored content is not working out, right? And it's also a trial and error for them. So this is a very new medium, and even now your larger brands would have at best 3 to 5% of their overall marketing spends as a part of influencer marketing. So since this is very nascent, brands are also understanding the do's and don'ts, what is working, what is not. Why we initially started with influencer marketing was, or any brand started was, when you're scrolling through your social media, organically you see a post from the content creator that you liked, who's endorsing the product that you would want. And that sort of seamlessly weaves into what you want, and it does not add and any of this. That's very organic, right? But the moment we started getting into influencer marketing, things started becoming doctored. It defeated its original purpose. Now I think we are getting back to that space again, where in the end it's all about eyeballs. Whichever content gives you more eyeballs, which helps either in acquisition or retention or at least recall, that will help the brands. I think we are moving towards that space where brands are understanding it's all about being true to the creator's authentic self, right? That's the reason why their followers would connect with them. So that's about it.
So when you say any kind of content, I'll go back to a very old phrase. Any kind of publicity is good, negative or bad. Does it work in the space of content creation?
I'm not a big fan of that, honestly.
Content, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. I personally think that, see, the thing is that the content creator and a brand, there is a lot of resonance within the community that they have and the community that we have, and there are some shared interests, right? So the example of, since we were talking about the Ganji Chudel and Nykaa collab, or the Ganji Chudel and the Swiggy collab, why is it that I thought it's such a clever collab, to be very honest, because that piece of content is celebrated in a way that it's so bad that it's good, and then Swiggy and perhaps Nykaa, I'm not sure how did they create that personality, but Swiggy for sure has got this funny personality, and therefore it is a seamless take. But otherwise, as a brand manager, I feel one of the boo-boos that happened, right, Poonam Pandey's cancer episode, that to me is an absolute no-go. It only hurts the brand or the celebrity. If you look at it today, people still make, the respect is kind of lost even more. So not a big fan of that, to be very honest. It also comes from a place of desperation, which just, that body language is off.
Agreed. साक्षी, अगर आपको जेन ज़ी को फ़ोन खरीदना होगा या घर खरीदना होगा तो आप कंटेंट बनाओगे तो वो क्या खरीदना पसंद करेंगे?
I think surely they would go for a phone. Matlab, they want something quick. So most of the Gen Zs would go for a phone because I think they would they would be able to flaunt that more. But I think there would be both kind of people in Gen Zs too. I think all the Gen Zs wouldn't go for a phone. Some have some financial, like they also have what do we call it? Ki thoda correct thinking and everything. So they understand what thing has more importance. So some might also go for buying a house.
But we were also talking about a point when you said that they're ready to take a loan to buy a phone, right? So when you make your content, what are the factors you keep in check, right? You know, because it also impacts your purchase decisions, right?
See, me being a Gen Z, so I'm not a complete Gen Z, but I know how does a Gen Z think. So I keep those points in mind, like what are the things they would, what are the thoughts that would come to their mind when they are seeing my content. So first I want it to be relatable. So I understand their perspective also, that they want to like purchase something or actually flaunt something. But they have that thing. I keep those things in mind. So I try to make my content which is relatable to them, which actually I try to show them that I understand them, but while understanding them also, what are the things we can do. So these are something I think.
Got it. When you work with content creators, you know, we were talking about the cringe content part, right? And I'm sure every day there are like a deluge of content creators approach you as an agency. How do you clean up from there, or how do you handhold them to, you know, because I mean, while I have the intention to have content creator as a career option, but I may not know, you know, where should I go from the starting point to a midpoint. So how do you help in that?
Sure. First clarity, we are not an agency. We are an app. And again, answering your question, see, there are a lot of creators that come in because accessibility has become easier, and production has also become easier thanks to Canva, CapCut, and tools like that, right? So what you see is everybody would want to earn money by being a creator, but there's only so much brands out there, and they've decided who are the set of folks that they'd want to work with, right? So there's a supply-demand imbalance here in this space. So there are multiple agencies who have their own rosters, and again, there are talent management agencies who would want to pitch their own talents to multiple brands. This is a way where it works, where you have an aided network or a support system that helps you, navigate this entire ecosystem. But for the remaining chunk, which is the larger chunk of creators, there is no guidance per se. Like you said, how do I go from point A to point B, or from 0 to 1, 1 to 10, 10 to 100? So there's no such space. And I think in HashFame, that's exactly what we're trying to build, a place where creators, when they come in, you go to a space where you have consistent revenue, right? So again, revenue is a part of two things: how you recruit and how skilled are you. Upskilling part is something that we're not getting into currently, but recruitment is something that we have, where we have close to 7,000-8,000 marketers that are currently using the app, and they search for creators in the app. And this is just one small step, right? Again, we're not saying that this is going to solve for the entire industry tomorrow, day after, but we need to start from somewhere, and I think this is a step that we're doing from our end.
Right. If I have to touch base on AI, I mean, we discussed that AI, when you use it to enhance your work, works brilliantly. But AI you can't be reliable on it to help you build your life or build your career, right? To the two of you, I want to understand, you're on various platforms, right? And I'm sure you use various apps also. How has AI helped you in creating a better content, or maybe distributing the same content in different languages, or getting in touch with new set of users, which may not be there before AI, because language is a barrier in many cases. So how has AI actually helped the both of you?
So I really think that one should look at AI as a clever mechanism. It's a really clever way. Something that would take you about 10 hours, it takes you about 2 minutes. So you just want to make it like your best friend. So many interesting things that are happening in the AI world today. I actually made a reel on it, where if you guys know Sharan, Varun, Maya, these guys are actually, every third video on their reel is not them, it's their AI avatar. That's something even I'm working on for myself, because eventually the idea, and both of those guys, the quality, the impact, the value of those reels has not gone down. Right? It's just that instead of them physically churning out so much content, there is an avatar that sort of now is doing it. But the input, like Varun Maya, I remember watching his podcast, and he mentioned how he does the research and he sends out 4-minute long voice notes to his team, which then gets transferred. There are 3 different tools they use, right? For scripting, it's different, rendering, it's different, and final editing, it's different. Essentially, today, in today's day and world, you can put out 10s, 20s of Aarti, Samant, the Sorted Girls video, feed it to the AI system, and that AI will basically identify the mannerisms, the way you talk, the way your hand gestures, the way your face sort of moves. Right now the technology is nascent, so it's only person to camera. And you can use it in different multiple languages. What happens with this is just the frequency of the content. If I can churn out 30 pieces of content a month, I can probably churn out 300 pieces of content, and I can maybe churn them out in digital marketing in Marathi, digital marketing in Kannada, digital marketing in in Gujarati. So that's what it will help you to, because currently my reach, I can never be, I feel I'm so niche because English and digital marketing. So for me to reach out to masses today, somebody sitting there in Varanasi trying to create content or building their brand, I would love to create content in Hindi, but that's my barrier and I don't have time. I'm running businesses. Can I make AI my best friend and actually deploy this? The ones who are smarter, clever, sharper will do it faster, and then they will get other people they will use that tool and tech to get other people to pay for it. That's exactly what Varun Maya is doing.
Sakshi?
Well, even I think AI is actually revolutionizing how we see content creation today. I have also been working on that AI model. So we just need to give 2-3 videos to AI, and then it automatically sees how your hand gestures are, how your face movement are, and everything. And then we can just create 30-40 pieces of content in just, I think, a day or so. You just need to give the prompts to AI, and then it can easily be done. Other than that, I think there are various tools like Canva. I personally use Canva a lot for editing. So the AI features in Canva actually makes the editing so a hell lot easier. Like there are other applications like Blink, ChatGPT, which can be used for generating captions, for actually for refining your script, for giving you a like rough idea of how your script should be. So I think AI, if we use AI to, we can actually use AI to enhance our creativity, and then it can help us to move a lot faster and become very efficient. So I believe we should use AI in a positive manner, and rather than replace our creativity with it, we should actually use it to enhance our creativity.
Okay, we are talking about enhancement of creativity, but have you seen any examples where, you know, the reliability on AI is much more, and it is where that, you know, the content hasn't worked? Have you seen these examples also?
There's a very recent example of a Coca-Cola ad that came in. So it said Christmas came in early, and they had a video, I think probably 60 to 70 seconds video. So if you look at the video very closely, you will see that not any single shot or a frame is more than 10 seconds. Because while AI is all good, it helps in boosting productivity, that alone is not going to give you the desirable result that you want to. And again, I think more power to Coke, because a big brand like Coke decided to do this, while there are still backlashes to say that, hey, you know what, it didn't emotionally connect with me and all, but it takes a huge heart to come out and experiment like how Coke did, right? I see this going upwards. When I mean upwards, I see this as a good sign where, see, essentially, if I have to take an avatar today in India, I cannot, given, or let's say in 2020 or 2017 or 2018. But today I can do that because AI has made things cheaper for me. The post-production, all of this. So if it's become cheaper and it's easy to access, then I think it's good for the masses. So that's how I look at it.
Will you see more language content? Because there was a phase, I mean, of course, English and Hindi comes very naturally to a lot of us. From north side, it's not fair to say, but other part of India, Hindi can be a restriction. But will you see more rise of language-based content, and will you see more innovation in that kind of content?
So is it specific to AI or even?
No, even AI.
Sure, okay. See, what we're seeing with the rise of apps like Elo and ShareChat is that it's actually becoming a reality. And Elo mein people just go out and they stream for us, and their monetization model is not brand deals. The monetization model is virtual gifting. So that's an entirely new space that is being opened up for creators. While the India one is sitting on Instagram, Snapchat, and some bit of YouTube, the India 2, India 3 that we don't talk about much is in platforms like Elo, ShareChat, and there are multiple platforms that have come across now, right? And so these are places where we see regional creators come in. And again, from a brand's point of view, even if brand collaboration is a big deal, they look at which region do I not have enough penetration. For instance, a Milk Bikis is already very strong in Tamil Nadu. So they might look to strengthen their position by targeted campaigns through regional creators in TN, which is what they've been doing now. And again, let's say another state that is picking up. So how do you want to go there? How do you engage with the regional creators? These are things that the brands are doing. So yeah, that's how it works.
What is that one big challenge when it comes to creating content, besides getting the right idea?
Relentless effort and consistency is just that, right? Like what happens every day, you wake up and you put in 100% of your love, effort, and you think this is gonna blast, and something opposite happens, and you have to just pat yourself and get up again, make another reel and another reel and another reel. And I feel like when that happens, you just have to keep going, because ultimately, at least for me, I can speak, my Instagram is my funnel. I'm not a influencer or a full-time content creator. That is one of the revenue streams, but I run my full-fledged consultancy business and edtech platform. So if I stop creating, and we do zero paid ads. Luckily, we've not had a reason to do it as of yet. So that's, if your business runs out of there, then you have to like really be your own hype machine, and also at the end of the day, that follow button means so much. Like to me, it's like if that reel is not worth them stopping, watching it till the end, and sharing it with someone. These three things have to happen, boss. If these three things have not happened, then I'm not doing my job right. Is where it's all at. And so at the end of the day, it's really about being relentlessly like consistent. It's kind of hard, but you got to wake up every day and do it.
How do you deal with trolls? Because the amount of content you guys create, I'm sure not every content is able to please everybody on the internet, and the internet has a whole lot of people, right? So how do you deal with trolls? Do you not read them, or do you read them and just shuck it away, saying it's just one person?
So I think I've been lucky that way, that I have not actually handled a lot of troll, because my content is mainly educational. But sometimes a reel goes very viral, like 10 million, 15 million views. Then there will be a lot of people coming up and telling कि यार ये क्या बोल रही है, बकवास बोल रही है, and everything. मतलब they just want to like put out anything out. Because it's a public platform, so they just want to put out something out there. But if there is one negative comment, there are 100 positive also. So I think what I personally try to do is just chuck it off. Ki, theek hai, I either hide that comment or restrict that person. You don't. Why do they come on my feed and then so I just restrict them SE and just.
I have to say, I love trolls. I think some of them are so funny that I really appreciate the humor. And sometimes I like take the screenshot and put it out saying, good one, yaar, you know. But then sometimes and she's absolutely right. Within the community, everyone there's so much love and respect. It's when your reel goes above 1 million, it is going on random people's feeds. And those random trolls are then coming onto your platform. Or kuch to, how do you say, like chul, right? Pardon my French, but that chul they have. And then they just need your reaction. So sometimes when it's funny, I really appreciate it. Sometimes when it's really ugly, there's a beautiful block button. Move on, you know. But otherwise, I'm quick. I'm quite a pro troll.
One last question to you is what is the USP of HashFame that new content creators should look forward to when working with you guys?
See again, like you said, consistency in revenue is based on how you're being recruited and your skill part of it, right? We're not trying to immediately solve for the skill part. There are already enough and more skilled creators who do not get the platform to go out and reach out to your marketers from brands and agencies. I think HashFame is a platform where creators are being actively searched by 7,000, 8,000 plus marketers. And when you are in a platform like this, the odds of you landing a good brand campaign that you resonate with is much more, right? And that is exactly what we're trying to do by bringing both sides of the equation together. The supply side here is the creator. The creator is providing their digital inventory to say that, hey, you know what, I have n number of inventories to sell it to you, and will you be interested in taking it up? Here on the demand side, I have marketers from brands and agencies who would want to work with creators. So this is a network that we're building. So you can consider this more like LinkedIn, but for creators, where creators are at the fulcrum of it, and anybody that is trying to work with creators and trying to provide business to creators would be a part of this. So this way we're trying to solve for the revenue consistency problem.
Cool. I think the next session people are waiting for us, so we'll not take much time. But thank you everyone.
Thank you.
It was great. Thank you.